Hello and welcome to the MHP Arena in Stuttgart. This is day 2 of the first News9 Global Summit. I am Sandeep Unitan here and I'm joined by a very interesting panel of speakers. We're going to be talking about sustainable development and the roadmap for the Indo-German partnership, which is the theme of our summit over here. Now, our discussion here is going to talk about the next steps in this partnership between India and Germany and what we need to do to take that relationship forward as we head towards the sustainable development goals and a brighter environment friendly future for all of mankind. But here I want to start by introducing my panelists. Chitra.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, TV9. I'm Chitra Vishwanath, and I'm the executive board member of Essence. It's a non-profit organization focusing on the cultural integration of India and Germany, or Indians and Germans.
I'm R.K. Goyal. We run 2 steel plants in India, and the first one where we have started producing green steel since over 2 years. We are a great believer in circular economy, sustainable manufacturing.
You also have Surya Khurana over here. Surya, what is it that you do?
So I'm Surya Khurana. I'm the managing director for Flixbus in India. Flix is the global leader in long-haul intercity mobility. In Germany, there's often that you go out on the streets and you find the green color buses. And in Stuttgart, if you go to the railway station, you'll also find the Flix green trains over there.
Of course, and who else but Surya to talk about sustainable development? Surya means sun in India, so that's solar power for you. But Tilkat, tell us, you're in the fuel cell business. Oh, that's the future.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you very much for the invitation. Well, my name is Till Katz. I'm the CEO of Iron Truck Energy GmbH, and what we do is we are a fuel cell integrator. So what we do is bring all the requirements from the customers together and look for some fuel cell systems to integrate it in mobile application, but as well as for stationary application. We're focused on hydrogen, low temperature fuel cells, so this is what we're doing perfectly. So looking forward for the future.
Well, looking forward to the future indeed. And there's Axel, who's also in the fuel cell business. You also do AI and fuel cells. Tell us how you manage to balance these two challenging responsibilities.
Absolutely. Okay, my name is Axel Angeli. I'm the managing director of Logos World 50 Experts in Germany. And I'm call myself a cybernetician. A cybernetician is a computer expert who brings in responsible artificial intelligence together with computer technology. And I'm very much in circular economy. And yes, I'm also recently went into the fuel cell business. We are setting up a factory in Hyderabad with German management, German technology to build the fuel cell engines in India. That is one of those. And I'm also a matchmaker for Germany and India. I'm representing the Electronic Software Council and the EEPC here in Germany as well.
Matchmaker for India. Fascinating.
Thank you.
And you know, this is just like what the minister mentioned yesterday, that the living bridge between India and Germany is, you're actually setting that up, you know.
Absolutely.
With the factory in Hyderabad for a circular economy. But I want to start by talking to Mr. Goyal. Mr. Goyal, you know, you're a member of the steel industry. Now, the steel industry, possibly after in ICT, the automobile industry is one of the biggest polluters. Steel is, mankind would not be where we were without steel, right? It's into everything that we do. But it's also extremely, it is a very environmentally unfriendly material. It takes enormous amounts of energy to make steel. And it's literally every ton of steel is, you know, spews several tons of carbon monoxide and all those dangerous gases into the greenhouse gases into the environment. What is it that you're doing at Kalyani Steel that the world should really take note of?
Okay. Now, you know, first of all, in India, steel industry, while producing steel, we generate 2.5 ton of CO2 per ton of crude steel, while the global average is only 1.91. In totality, we generate around 12% of our CO2 in the country by the steel industry. So it's a dire need to decarbonize, and at the same time, India is blessed with sun, where if you consider from east to west, we have suns at some part of the country at least for 14 hours a day. Besides that, we have a very large coastal line where we have heavy winds and we can operate our windmills. these two things are supporting us in generating RE energy on a sustainable basis, and using this RE energy, we had started working whether we can produce steel or can we reduce our carbon footprint by using RE energy, which is available by nature. So what we did around 3 years back, we had set up a lot of large solar power plants and windmills, so that all over 100% of our energy requirement is met by RE energy. Then the second part which we followed is that we use basically scrap. One, we collect from all our customers in India and abroad. Like from some of our customers in US, we are getting back the scrap, and they use the balanced residual material only, which are produced while they generate CO2. So by using this basically scrap, by using RE power and converting all our manufacturing operations from furnace oil and PNG to biofuels. So with this, technically speaking, there is no fossil fuel, there is nothing in our manufacturing system which generates CO2, and we have started producing steel. With this, what has happened, our carbon footprint has come down to around 105 kg per ton of crude steel, and we are doing further a lot of research by which we are expecting it to be close to zero. So this has really helped in our plant, which is the first one, and Mr. Scindia, who was the steel minister 2 years back, who has graced our occasion of launching of the green steel. Now, we have requested our ministry, we have told everybody that we can demonstrate and help the country develop this model in any and every plant in the country, and there is a good potential to reduce CO2 footprint at least by 60 million ton in the country. We may not be producing green steel, but we can reduce by 60 million ton. We have already started supplying green steel at premium to European countries. Lot of European countries have already signed MOUs with us. And above all, just look at the interest of German government. Minister Stefan Wengel, he visited our plant with his complete team, and he was there for more than half a day trying to understand how do we produce green steel and what is the possibility of collaboration between the two countries.
Right. Very interesting, Mr. Goyal, the fact that, green steel, you're the only company that's doing green steel from what I understand. Surya, is it something that would interest you, green steel, in, maybe making the buses and automotive, for the automotive sector?
See, there's no doubt that there's a lot of steel that goes into producing automobiles, especially large commercial vehicles, which is what we use, and trains as well. As we move more towards a sustainable future, and companies like individuals, as well as companies and organizations start taking note and start making this as part of their business plans, the fact that there is green steel and there is the net carbon footprint that can be reduced through the course of this entire supply chain is something which is definitely pushing us into a forward and a positive direction. Also, when you look at BEC, like battery electric vehicles, I know like hydrogen cell for long haul buses is something which we're trying to pilot in different parts, and Flix has been at the core of the pioneering these pilots in different parts. But with India making huge strides and being the beacon for electric vehicles being used for long distance commute and larger vehicles, and steel being a much larger proportion of the making of an electric vehicle because of what goes in the batteries as well. This is something which is definitely positive for us, and as we move towards sustainable goals and each company commits to bigger and more audacious ESG goals for the next decade, I think this is something which is going to play a very, very key role in making sure that all of us are very mindful and are trying to reduce the carbon footprint at every part of the supply chain, and not just at the end where the emission of the vehicle is being considered as mobility emissions.
Right, absolutely, Surya. And in fact, Axel, you're in fuel cells now. The world is in the middle of a EV revolution, electric vehicle revolution. You have companies in the US and in China which are world leaders in electric vehicles. Do you believe that the EV phenomenon is just a transitory phase, that we will possibly end up with hydrogen cells? That is possibly the future. And because what are you going to do with all those mountains of batteries that you're going to be, creating? And we have this dichotomy back in India. We talk about electric vehicles, but the electric vehicles are actually charged with coal-fired power plants, right? So that is old and new for you.
Well, actually, there's not much to say anymore because you said it everything. Battery cannot be the solution, but electric vehicles, actually, battery-driven electric vehicles, this is, I think, a temporary phenomenon.
Right.
When you think about batteries, they have a lot of deficits also. We still do not know after 20 years, what are we doing with all the batteries who can no longer be renewed there. We have now lithium-based batteries. Of course, lead-based batteries would be better, but they have a bad reputation. So there is a big discussion. But actually having fuel cells, this is a concept that where the battery will only be a backup in the end, and you produce the energy right away. And the problem with electricity is electricity can be produced everywhere. As Mr. Goel said, actually, we can use the wind of the coastal of the Indian coast. We can use the sun. We can use the water. There is so many creeks that still have running water, so you can produce the electricity. But storing electricity, you have to consume it immediately. And hydrogen is nothing else than a storage medium. You take the electricity, you use an electrolyzer, you have hydrogen, and then you use the hydrogen to bring the electricity back. So this is one of the solutions. So I would say hydrogen is definitely the next step, which is going to overtake. Plus, we should not forget, there is also alternative thing is having, for example, induction wires in the streets where you can load while you drive. This is what Renault Trucks in Sweden is experimenting. In Germany, they tried it with overhead wires, which they have stopped because overhead wires are too sensitive. But induction rails under the streets are a good, affordable thing. And people say, might be expensive. No, it is not, because you renew your streets every 10 years, and this would add probably 5% to the street building costs only when you do it during the renewal phase.
The renewal phase, indeed. And in fact, Tilkas, we are in this iconic MHP arena in Stuttgart.
Yeah,
and
very nice.
I'm thinking of this football match where it's BYD versus Tesla. They're playing this electric vehicle match, and there's Germany sitting there and watching the match with great interest because you're pioneers in hydrogen fuel cell technology. But tell us, do you think that Germany will actually wake up and start playing this match with hydrogen cell technology?
On vehicles, I fully agree with my neighbor that hydrogen will play the big role in future. But that's maybe upcoming 2030, something like that.
So will Germany play a key role in that hydrogen cell?
I think it must play a key role because we have now that much experience on that field since maybe 30, 40 years when Daimler started also with the cars, and up now with the heavy truck ones. What we see first is first going into these heavy and light commercial vehicles, and depends always on the requirements, because it doesn't make sense to go into a fuel cell where maybe the battery is up now the better option. So we see it a bit critical for the vehicles, for the cars, for the small ones up now due to the storage of hydrogen. But for the light commercial and heavy commercial vehicles in the range of up from 500 kilometer, and higher than that, fuel cell is the best option at the moment. But we also don't want to go in a discussion like, well, what will it be in future? I think to have a sustainable future, we must go into all these renewable energies. Means we have to go in e-fuels, in HVOs, hydrogenated vegetable oils, batteries, and as well as also fuel cells. So this, we must start. That's the big point. We must start somewhere with the market. That's why we see Indian as a really a forerunner for this. And we want to go for this now. And we don't have to wait, because this is maybe the problem of the German industry, is just wait until we have the ideal solution for it. But up now, we have to start now. We got the technology. The technology is ready. It's shown on the street and also shown for some stationary application, and we have to start now, and then will come some improvements, and let's see. And well, that's I think the big chance we have.
The big chance we have, and indeed we have a future where we're looking at hydrogen cells and sustainable mobility solutions. Chitra, you've something to tell us about what
Exactly.
you're setting up the future for.
Yes. It's very heartening to listen to the panelists here who are really taking a serious look at going green. And this is going to make my daughters very happy. And I say this because today I would like to take a position on this topic as a mother of growing children. And my daughter, she has just entered the university. She had excellent grades. So the grades which could actually, take her to medicine or law or business, and she had all the options in front of her. Nevertheless, but still, she decided to just go the renewable energy way. So she is now, enrolled herself into a renewable energy engineering. And why is that? That is the point here. The point is, it is not a one-day decision or a few months decision, or it was not a discussion which happened once and she thought, oh wow, this is the way I have to go. But rather, it was a mindset which was built right from the beginning, right from when they were babies. The awareness of how to use their resources at home and things like that. So this was taught to them in the initial years, and later I really did not have to do much because they went into this tangent of being aware of where they're living, what kind of world they are, the planet Earth that they are living, and what is their responsibility. And then came the question, what is the responsibility of the adults of today? Right? What are the parents doing for us? To such an extent, it's such a serious discussion. We have a number of conversations wherein my daughters are now grown up, 18 and 15-year-old, and so they are able to discuss things and on very, very sensitive topics, which matters to them, because we are going to leave planet Earth, and they are the ones who are the takers, right? So this discussion pretty much defines how a parent behavior has to be at home, right? And therefore, I feel a topic so important to us and for our future, not just for our future, but for the future generations to come, it is very important that sustainability has to also begin at home.
Right.
So sustainability at home is the key to go. And this has to be then multiplied into the community, and then the country, and then, of course, with people, with the industry coming in here with their expertise. That's how it's going to come together.
Absolutely, so, you couldn't have put it much better, Chitra. Yes. Sustainability begin at home and then radiate outwards. And right. We're talking of two countries, India and Germany, and a path to sustainable development, which is the theme of our first ever News9 Global Summit. Thank you very much, Chitra and gentlemen, for joining us this morning from this lovely MHP Arena in Stuttgart at the sidelines of the News9 Global Summit. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.